Learn about Sports Eye Safety Month and the 45th anniversary of Carolina Trust Federal Credit Union. Coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Elizabeth Maddox Chapin Building on the Grand Strand campus of Horry Georgetown Tech. We're visiting with Dr. Carol Lee Faust, an ophthalmologist with Stokes Regional Eye Center. Good morning, Dr. Carol Lee Faust.
Thank you very much.
Great to be with you. How exciting to think about the opportunity to come in, particularly with so many going on with sports eye injuries and this being Sports Eye Injury Month, to think about all the focus that's happening, but to be here on the campus of Horry Georgetown Tech when they're celebrating their grand opening of this building is this Wednesday, so a lot going on. A lot going on. Can we talk real quick about yourself? Are you originally from the area?
No, I actually grew up in Maryland, but I did most of my educational training in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Great. Did you come down to Horry County straight from Philadelphia?
I did a little bit of practice in New Jersey for a year, but I realized the cold weather and the urban setting wasn't for me, and I decided to move down like everyone else wants to in warm weather. It's beautiful in this area.
It is. Is there anything like that in Maryland? Or when you think about back home, is there anything similar to that?
Yeah, there is. It's called the Eastern Shore, and it's along the Chesapeake Bay, but it's only nice and warm for a few months of the year, unlike here where it's over half the year it's beautiful and warm.
Oh, absolutely. Where do you complete your medical studies?
I completed my medical studies at Philadelphia Temple University Hospital. It's a big change.
Absolutely. Why did you choose ophthalmology as your medical profession of choice?
Well, I decided to dedicate my life to the study of eyesight. When my father almost lost his sight from an accident when I was a child. So I wanted to do something involving the eyes.
What was that like with your father as he was did he regain his sight, or he just...
Actually, I was very young, so he was chopping wood, and the wood came up and split his eyelid, and it was bleeding profusely. But because I was around 7 or 8, I thought actually I had broken his eye and that he lost it. And later on that evening, I realized that it was only a superficial injury, although it could have definitely been more serious.
That must have been wild, as a young person, seeing that and recognizing how important our eyes are at such an early age. What prompted your move? When you ended up here in South Carolina, did you start immediately with Stokes?
Yes, I did. Stokes is nationally renowned for its quality eye care, and I wanted to be involved with the physicians who are working at Stokes.
Can we talk real quick about Stokes? Has Stokes Regional Eye Center been providing eye as a professional?
Yes. And Stokes Regional Eye Center has been providing its community with unparalleled quality eye care for over 60 years.
Golly.
Quite established.
Founded in the PD?
Yes, it started out in Florence, where 7 of the physicians are practicing, and it branched out. There's offices in Sumter, as well in Conway, Marion, and Lake City.
Great, good. Obviously, the big focus, and we're 10 days left in the month. This is Sports Eye Injury Month.
Yes.
How did that come about, Sports Eye Injury Month? Why is that such a big focus?
I think ophthalmologists have noticed that a lot of the eye injuries, sports eye injuries, are preventable if the athletes use protective eyewear. And there's approximately over 40,000 eye injuries, ranging from corneal abrasions and eyelid contusions to something more serious internally, such as retinal detachments and hemorrhaging. And those kind of injuries are preventable if they do wear protective eye gear.
What would be the most common sports-related eye injury?
Probably corneal abrasions from either fingers or hands sticking in one's eyes, or actually if they're playing outside from, I guess, grass or weed getting into their eyes.
Normally a question would be, would that be a readily preventable treatment? But when you talk about grass getting in your eyes, I mean, that's pretty tough to prevent. Those are big accidents.
It is, but if a lot of people start noticing that if they wear the goggles that wrap around, then they won't get exposed to a lot of the outdoor contaminants.
When we think about Stokes Regional Eye Center, do you all tend to work on a pretty regular basis with local businesses to help protect their employees, or local sports groups to help protect?
Yes, Stokes Regional Eye Center has a long-standing relationship with both Coastal Carolina University as well as the local industries in providing them with protective goggles. So they do work along with all the industries.
Great. Can we talk real quick for viewers who may not be totally familiar, when they go in to get their eyes checked out, they may see an optician, they may see an optometrist, they may have the opportunity to see an ophthalmologist. What are those primary differences, and do we need to ask when we go in?
Sure, definitely you do need to ask. An ophthalmologist is a medical physician as well as a specialized surgeon. We were educated in the classic medical education. We do further training and residency, as well as some do further extra training and fellowships. Opticians basically are individuals who are trained to just fulfill eyeglass prescriptions. And optometrists are individuals who are very educated in eye care, but they don't have a medical degree. So I think that with an ophthalmologist, they can take care not only of your eye needs, but how they relate to your medical diseases.
Carol, at Stokes Regional Eye Center, besides yourself as an ophthalmologist, how many other ophthalmologists are within the group?
There are 7 practicing full-time ophthalmologists in Florence, and that's the main location. And there are 2 full-time staff offices, Sumter, and there are 3 practicing physicians, and where I'm located in Conway, and I'm there full-time. There are 2 additional satellite offices that are open for the convenience of our patients.
That's in Lake City and Marion?
Lake City and Marion, yes.
So 3 full-time staff facilities.
Right.
That's Florence, Conway,
Sumter.
And Sumter. Okay, how exciting. When we think about, and when you talk about full-time, fully staffed, what would be some of the services provided by each of the full-time facilities?
Well, in Florence, that's where most of our subspecialists are. When I say subspecialists, they are ophthalmologists, but they also specialize with an extra training in different parts of eye diseases. There's a glaucoma specialist, a retina specialist. There is 2 cornea specialists in Florence, and they specialize not only in the cornea, but also LASIK surgery. There are, as well as oculoplastic, eye muscle, pediatric ophthalmologist as well. In Sumter, there are 3 general ophthalmologists who provide the general eye care. And that includes all the ones I've described, but if there's anything else more serious, we usually refer it to our subspecialist. And I, as well, in Conway, am a general ophthalmologist.
Okay. Obviously, Dr. Lee Faust, we hear so often about LASIK, for instance. You mentioned LASIK. You've got 11 ophthalmologists within the practice. You said only 2 of them are providing the LASIK. Is that something that, why do you think we're hearing about it so much? Is it here to stay?
LASIK surgery is refractive surgery, and it corrects oftentimes for distance correction, and the new method for hyperopia or near vision. It involves doing surgery on the top part of the eye called the cornea, and that's why you would want a cornea specialist to do your surgery, because they are trained in that part of the eye.
So those 2, when you talked about yourself as a general ophthalmologist, you would if you were in a dire situation, you would be able to help out with a cornea or provide some assistance there, but you did not do an actual specialty on cornea.
No, I didn't. No.
Wow. Why should a patient visit your office for an eye examination?
I think they should visit my office for an eye examination, because we can provide quality eye care and an exceptional, friendly staff.
That's great words. That's spectacular. Carol, when we think about the most common eye ailment, what is the most common eye ailment that you would encounter in the Conway office?
The most common eye ailment or eye disease that I often see is actually cataracts, and cataracts is the natural aging of the lens you're born with that can result in significant blurred vision that cannot be corrected with either prescription glasses or contact lenses. And usually when we recommend for individuals who have significant cataracts that interferes with their ability to see and do the daily activities, recommend surgically removing it.
So you remove the cataract?
Yes.
It's a big deal.
Yes, it is.
What's the normal recovery time after removal of a cataract?
It depends on the individual. Some cataracts, individuals can develop them at an earlier age, and because they are younger, their healing process is a lot faster. There are other individuals who are lucky and don't have their cataracts develop until later. However, because their age is a little bit later, their healing properties are usually not as good, and it may take from 1 to 2 weeks up to a month or longer.
Mm-hmm. Carol, are many of your patients opting for the LASIK surgery?
A good number of my patients do opt for laser surgery, LASIK surgery, so that they can have good vision, independent of their glasses or contact lenses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It can be such a superstar procedure. I actually had it done last summer. Remember about 6 months later sending flowers to the doctor and the assistants there just for such a spectacular result.
There are a lot of patients out there who cannot see without their glasses, even in front of them. And once they have the laser surgery, they'll be able to open their eyes and see everyone without their glasses. And that's really makes a big difference in their lifestyle.
Within moments after the surgery.
Oh, yes.
Amazing. When we think about, obviously this month is Sports Eye Injury Month, but we're getting really close to the summertime. Obviously right now, incredible weather, beautiful weather outside. Why would we need to put on sunglasses?
The sunglasses, I think, is very good in protecting the eye from developing eye cancers that occur on the eyelids as well as throughout the eye. And it also delays the progression of cataracts and macular degeneration, which is an aging process that individuals develop as their eyes age, but can cause significant vision loss.
Dr. Lee Faust, are there special glasses made for children?
Yes, there are. The glasses that are made for children accommodate not only their small size, but they are made of a more durable polycarbonate lens, so they last longer and are not as breakable.
Dr. Lee Faust, if you had one message to provide to the community, in this instance representing Stokes Regional Eye Center, what do you think it would be?
My message would be to take good care of your eyes, because your eyes are not only the windows of your soul, but they're also windows to your general health and well-being. Absolutely.
She learned at an early age, and she saw her father after that wood chopping accident, and it's carried her down to Conway now and being with Stokes Regional Eye Center. Dr. Carol Lee Faust, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to Annette Barnette coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome back to Carolina People. We're visiting with Annette Barnette, the marketing director for Carolina Trust Federal Credit Union, which is celebrating their 45th anniversary next Monday. Good morning,
That's
Annette.
Right. Good morning, Greg.
Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
An incredible opportunity to highlight, to think that we're on the Horry-Georgetown campus on the former Myrtle Beach Air Force Base. And 45 years ago, next Monday,
That's right.
the credit union was set up here on the former Air Force Base.
That's right. That's where it began. In fact, our building is still on the base. It's not an operational branch, but we've gone through so many changes since it began in 1958 and expanded not only off of the base, but also to other communities and other counties.
Yes, not only in Horry, but of course having expanded into Florence County.
That's right. We have 2 branches in South Florence County, and those are in Lake City and Johnsonville. And those are in addition to our 3 branches in Horry County, and they're, of course, in Myrtle Beach and also Conway and Surfside Beach.
Spectacular, absolutely. It has grown dramatically. If you think about that, 5 branches of growth from 1 branch on the former Myrtle Beach Air Force Base to 5 over that amount of time. Pretty spectacular.
That's right. We've gone through lots of changes since the base closed. The credit union almost closed, but there were so many people in the area, retired military personnel, who cared about the credit union. At the time, it was called Myrtle Beach Air Force Base Federal Credit Union, and they did not want to see the credit union close after the base did. There were employees who did not want to see it close, and board of directors who did not want to see it close. And they worked together and made sure it did not. We went through a name change to Carolina Trust and moved off the base to 21st Avenue North, and the rest is history. We now have many other branches, many other services, and many more employees.
Absolutely. That's spectacular. Annette, can we talk real quick about yourself? Were you originally from the area?
No, I'm not. I am a former vacationer to this area. I was born in West Virginia. My dad was in the Air Force, and I did grow up in many, many places, mainly West Virginia, Delaware, and California. Moved around. I also spent a brief time when I was a child in Texas, and moved around. And as I said, I vacationed in Myrtle Beach for about 7 years, and it's the typical story, Greg. I fell in love with this area, and here I am.
Yeah.
I've been here a year and a half and love it.
Absolutely. Do you have family here in the area?
Not immediate family. My fiance is in the area. He has some relatives here, and I have some distant relatives, but no immediate family at this time. You never know.
No, you don't. You don't. Now, where did you attend school?
I attended college in California at Pepperdine University in Malibu, and reminds me a lot of Myrtle Beach. And a beautiful campus, a wonderful school, and I stayed out there several years after graduating and worked, and then returned to West Virginia for about 6 years before moving to Myrtle Beach.
What was that like attending college in the hills of L.A., to be up on the hills overlooking the water, to think of that thrill? You say it's like Myrtle Beach, except without those hills, and to think here we've got Horry Georgetown Tech, which is so close to the water. Coastal Carolina University is actually a good way away over in Conway from the water when you think of the coast, but to be at Pepperdine, be up in the hills of L.A. and Malibu, how exciting. What was that like?
Just paradise, Greg.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. It was a wonderful campus. It's a small school, small private school, and it's a family environment, and a lot of people would often ask me, and still do, how did you study? How did you concentrate?
Yeah.
But I was just very busy and committed to my studies and my activities on campus and trying to make it to graduation. So, you did enjoy the beach of the area and the surrounding tourist attractions in Los Angeles and other parts of Southern California. But I think it's kind of like anything else. You know it's there and you can go anytime. And so it's not as if I was skipping classes. I promise you I did not do that to go to the beach.
I don't believe you, but I do. Excuse me. What was your major?
My major was news broadcasting, radio, and television.
Spectacular. How about your first job out of school?
First job out of college was at an independent TV station in Oxnard, California, and that's in Ventura County, about an hour and a half north of Los Angeles. I had won a contest. We had to write an essay, and I was one of 6 who won some time at the TV station in my last semester of college, a paid internship, as they called it, and shortly thereafter that was over and I graduated. They offered me a position as an assistant in the news and also programming departments. So I worked there for about a year.
How exciting. You went from there into radio and then back into television. You've had an amazing broadcasting career. What was that like, making the transition from TV to radio? And then can you compare and contrast a little bit those differences?
They have a lot of similarities, but they do have a lot of differences. Radio, you could go out on your stories or sometimes obtain your stories and do the interviews over the phone or in person. And then once you're back in the studio, putting your stories together. If you came out of inclement weather, you didn't have to worry about your hair being in place, as opposed to television, where when you're in front of the camera, you somewhat have to be presentable if you're not out in the field during floods or a disaster situation. Radio and TV are different in terms of the equipment that you have to use. As you know, television, there is a lot of equipment and a lot of heavy equipment at times. And if you don't have a photographer, which I didn't always have a photographer to go with me on stories, when I worked in TV, I had to carry not only my notepad and my pen, but also the camera and the light and the battery and the extra tapes and the tripod. And when you had a story and you didn't have an elevator accessible to you and you had to go up on the 3rd floor, it was sometimes difficult. But there were always nice people willing to help you out and help you carry things to where you were going.
Absolutely, Annette. That is amazing. As you think about it, you grew to be a pretty strong person, I'm sure, lugging all that around. When did you end up moving to Myrtle Beach?
I moved to Myrtle Beach about 1.5 years ago.
Okay.
The fall of 2001. And came to work for Carolina Trust shortly thereafter.
Right.
So I've been there for over 1 year now, and it's a wonderful place. I couldn't have found a better place to work for.
Had you been in broadcasting immediately before coming to Carolina Trust?
No, actually I had one other marketing job, and that was at a hospital in West Virginia. While I was working in TV, I had a CEO of a hospital offer me a job. He had an opening as for his marketing and public relations director, and he had seen me at the hospital many times covering stories at the hospital, and he offered me the job, and he thought if with my news writing experience and my communication skills that those skills would be very important in a marketing and public relations position. And so he offered me the job. I spent a couple years there and continued on in the same kind of work down here in Myrtle Beach.
Absolutely. When you got to the beach, soon thereafter, you arrived at Carolina Trust Federal Credit Union. What prompted that position?
There was an ad in the paper. I had started job searching before I moved down here, and there was a position open at the credit union for a marketing specialist. Not marketing director, but marketing specialist, somewhat the marketing assistant. So I interviewed a couple times and obtained that position. A few months after I began, the marketing director at the time resigned and moved to New York, left the sunshine and the beaches and went to New York, and I was promoted to the marketing director position.
Oh, what are those responsibilities as marketing director?
Many, Greg.
I bet.
Including overseeing the advertising of the credit union, overseeing the promotions that we create to bring in new loan business and new checking accounts, etc. Overseeing fundraising activities for local community groups, overseeing donations to charitable causes in our area, being a part of community events, helping with the communication when we do have policy changes or adding new services, making sure that our staff as well as the public are receiving that information.
Yes, Annette, golly, you do wear a ton of hats. That's a big deal. Can we talk about having the 5 branches, 5 facilities? You also have some ATMs and other locations on the Strand.
That's correct. We have ATMs at all of our branches, the 5 branches, and we have 2 additional ATMs on the campus of Coastal Carolina University. And we just opened one in January in North Myrtle Beach. That's in the Gator Hole Plaza. So we are continuing to grow, add more ATMs, more branches, and more services.
Now, can we talk real quick about the difference between a credit union and any other bank?
Okay, a credit union is our credit union, I should say, is a full-service financial institution. If your local bank has it, we have it. We offer everything from the regular accounts and the loans and keep up with the technology, and you can even pay your bills online through us. But our difference from other financial institutions is that we are not for profit. And that's a big difference.
Right.
And that means benefits for those who use the credit union. If you join the credit union, Greg, you are not a customer. You are a member. And as a member, Greg, you are an owner of the credit union.
Great.
We don't have stockholders to pay, so our profits benefit the members, the owners of the credit union. We return those profits to the members in the terms of lower interest rates on loans, higher dividend rates on your accounts, your savings accounts, and many other benefits.
Why wouldn't everyone be a member of a credit union? That's spectacular.
That's a great question. That's right. Absolutely. I think because there is still some misconception about what a credit union is. There are many people in this area who still don't know that they can join And some people still associate a credit union with you have to be in the military to be a member of the credit union, or you have to work for a union, or you have to work for another particular kind of company or business. And credit unions have changed over the years. And today, many credit unions have community charters such as ours, and you just need to check with your local credit union and see what the membership requirements are.
And some of the requirements we have right around a minute, Annette. Some of the requirements, real quick, when we think about that, would there be a couple of basic ones that viewers would want to think about?
Requirements to join, that is, all you have to do is live, work, worship, volunteer, or attend school in Horry, Georgetown, Marion, Williamsburg, or South Florence County. And once you join, if you leave the area, you will always be a member. We have members worldwide.
Can we talk real quick about the awards, some of the amazing awards that you all have received? Obviously, the focus is the 45 years next Monday. What about some of the recent awards?
We are always doing our part for our community. We are in the community and we give back to our community. Just recently we picked up 4 awards from the South Carolina Credit Union League. One was an honorable mention for Dora Maxwell Award, that's social responsibility. A first place award for Louise Herring Award, that's for people helping people. Another first place for a new award, Desjardins Award, and that is for our youth education in the financial area. And one of our employees, Linda Arts, our Vice President for Finance, won the State Credit Union Youth Financial Ambassador of the Year Award for the entire state of South Carolina. She does a lot in the classrooms with junior achievement and teaching our kids about finances and business. So we're very proud of what we do in the community. We feel it's important to give back.
Absolutely. You heard her say it. Annette Barnette, Marketing Director for Carolina Trust Federal Credit Union. Important to give back. Annette, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you, Greg.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People coming up next. We want to thank Dr. Carol Lee Faust and Annette Barnette for making today's Carolina People so special. Remember the Carolina Trust Federal Credit Union motto, not for profit, not for charity, but for service. Next Monday, 45 years here on the Strand and throughout Lower PD.